talk about soul ties. Now, I have to confess, I love Bookie. And when I'm talking about Bookie, I mean the dysfunctional but addictive relationship that both Vampire Bill and half-breed Faye Sookie shared on True Blood. I can't lie. I rooted for them throughout all 7 seasons, and I was a little bit disappointed to learn that Sookie didn't end up with Bill towards the end of the season. But then that's when I got it. Sookie and Bill were wrapped up in the soul tie relationship, and it was a relationship that needed to end, so to speak. This is why Sookie staked Bill, and this is why you should probably stake many of your deadbeat loser boyfriends from your past. I'm going to tell you how and why in this video, so please stay tuned. So it all starts with lack. There is something that you want, desire, or crave, or there is a need that is deeply rooted inside of you that you have to get met. After all, guys, that is what attraction is. It's all about energy, and particularly sexual energy. And not to mention the fact that there is this psychological attraction that you have to the opposite sex, or for some people, the same sex. It all depends on your preference. People mistakenly believe that soul ties develop when 2 people engage in intimacy or engage in sex for the very first time. However, I believe something different. I believe that soul ties start with the initial attraction, that initial spark. In most cases, you are attracted to someone because they exude some type of energy or they have some type of fuel source that your soul needs. Or in the case of a soul tie, you are attracted to someone because you need them to satisfy a particular need or desire that's deeply embedded inside of you. Or in some cases, when it comes to soul ties, you may attract dysfunctional people or toxic people because there is a lesson that you have to learn from them. Let's take a look at Bill and Sookie. They were on opposite sides of the spectrum in every which way. Bill was dark, mischievous, and he was dead. And Sookie was light, chipper, and fey. Bill was bored. He was able to sex up humans and vampires alike for hundreds upon hundreds of years. And Sookie was young and innocent, naive, and even inexperienced. There was this dark part of Bill that wanted to love again. He wanted to feel that love that he felt when he was alive and married to his first wife. And then there was Sookie, and she wanted to experience this love for the very first time. After all, she was fey, and she had the gifts of a fey. Only issue is she was amongst humans, and the humans viewed her gift as an affliction. And this affliction was her being able to hear people's thoughts and feel their emotions, so on and so forth. This made it very difficult for Sookie to find intimacy and thus connect with other human beings. This made it difficult for her to be involved in a relationship. However, Vampire Bill's neurons don't fire like regular human beings' neurons, and thus he became the perfect match for someone like Sookie. While around him, she experienced something she had never experienced before: peace and quiet and tranquility. And this was something that she could get from Bill that she couldn't get from anybody else. And this, my friends, is when the soul tie started, with Sookie craving the darkness that was inside of Bill, and Bill craving the lightness that was inside of Sookie. Now, guys, I know it's a television show. It's not real. However, it is important to understand that these types of attractions really do work in real life. And yes, they normally turn out to be incredibly toxic and dysfunctional. When you look at that special person and you feel your heart pound or flutter, chances are that person is not good for you. Now, you're probably like pausing this video and asking yourself, what do you mean not good for me? Isn't that what love and romance is? The answer to that question is both yes and no. You see, there are healthy soul ties, and there are also healthy/ungodly soul ties. A healthy soul tie may occur when a person is already whole. They're healthy. They're fine. This person is looking to be in a relationship, and this relationship is going to make them better, not make them worse. An unhealthy or ungodly soul tie is when a person is wounded and is looking for a partner to subconsciously heal their deep-seated wounds. What does all this mean? Well, let's take a look at Tara and Sam. Again, they're opposites in almost every single way. Yet they have something in common. They're both love-starved. What does it mean to be love-starved? Well, let's just say if you grew up hungry or you grew up in a household where there wasn't much food. As a result, you're malnourished. Then someone offers you ice cream, cookies, pies, candy. You eat the junk food because you are starving. However, the food offers no nutritional value whatsoever. And the sad thing about it is that many people grow up starving for love. As a result of this, their souls become emaciated, and the only source of love that they get is through junk love. This is the love that you get from sexual encounters, one-night stands, or bonding with negative and toxic people. But sooner or later, these junk love relationships are not going to be enough for you. The soul needs the energy of love to thrive, much like the body needs nutrients from good food. As a result, the soul goes into this panic mode and desperation seeps in. And this is when the soul tie turns into an obsession. And this is where you see both partners turn violent or develop this addictive behavior toward each other. And this, my friends, is an obsession that is so strong that it's difficult to pull away. It's like having those midnight cravings for mint chocolate chip ice cream and double stuffed Oreos, and you just can't stop thinking about them, and you can't rest until you eat everything in the refrigerator. This is how love-starved people operate. They need to have it or die. Or at least this was the case with Vampire Bill and Sookie. Or basically Sookie and virtually all the vampires that she encountered throughout all 7 seasons of True Blood. They all wanted a piece of that sweet blood. Why? Because Sookie's blood represented something that no vampire could truly have: good old-fashioned sunlight. Now, while the vampires crave the blood of sunlight, humans crave the blood of vampires. Let's dig deeper and take a look at Jason and Amy, 2 addicts hooked on V. Now, you would think that V allowed them to bond on a much deeper level, but that's on the contrary, my friends. Both people had issues with connecting on an intimate level. Jason was a sex addict and Amy was a sociopath developing into a psychopath. In the end, the only way they knew how to get a deep and real intimate connection was by doing V. They could not experience an intimate connection without being high. And I know it, a lot of us have been there. We've all been in situations and in relationships, sadly, with people who share many of our bad traits and bring out many of our bad traits. And then these are people who want to keep us in these dysfunctional patterns because, in truth, it benefits them. And my friends, this is what I'm talking about when I say a soul tie. And this is why it's so important for you to break these soul ties. Because these people, spirit and soul, will linger on and on and on. And they're lingering on because they're holding on to your weaknesses, your dysfunctional patterns and behaviors. They're basically holding on because you have these wounds that need to be healed. So how do you go about breaking these soul ties? Well, if you were to go surf the internet, you would think that breaking a soul tie is a matter of saying a prayer or writing someone's name down on a piece of paper and burning it afterwards. However, I'm here to tell you that breaking a soul tie is much more difficult than that. For one, you need to heal. That wound inside of you is festering. And if you don't tend to it, you will continue to attract and or be addicted to people who aren't good for you. Now, the healing part is actually very simple. Now, listen to the words. I said simple. I did not say easy. I said that it's simple because the only thing that you need to do to heal that wound and break that soul tie is to give your soul the nourishment of love that it needs. Now, this may be difficult for a lot of people, especially those who are love-starved. However, if you start aligning or allowing yourself to be mounted by the spirit or the deity or the Orisha, they can provide all the love that you need and more. I know I was doing so well and I had to start with the voodoo talk. But listen, I'm not going to let politics get in the way of the message, and I'm not going to let politics get in the way of you healing. If voodoo scares you, then work with Christ or Buddha or Jehovah or whoever or whatever you believe in. The most important thing is that you need to heal your soul and heal your original wound and break these soul ties once and for all. Now, what I do is I believe in the ancestors and I believe in Oshun. And what I do is I make a daily practice of filling my soul up with love or increasing my vibration so that they're on a loving vibration. And I can speak about this because I was a love starved child. I didn't have a lot of love growing up. And as a result, I have to constantly align and increase my vibrations to a loving vibration. If I don't, I start to slip and I start to do things that are not good for me. And I start to let people in my life who aren't good for me. And so I'm kind of able to keep myself aligned with just one simple affirmation. I am love. I am love. I am love. I am love. I say this over and over and over and over and over again. And even when I feel like my vibrations are slipping or when I feel like I'm dipping and diving, I'll start saying, I am love. I am love. I am, to bring myself back to that loving vibration. And I do this so that I'm always on this high loving vibration and that I'm not allowing myself to be susceptible to predators or people who may prey on my weaknesses. And this is what you have to do to break soul ties. It's going to be constant work. It's going to be constant effort. But as you do this, you're going to change your life. And the people who are hanging on and the people who are, in your life who aren't good for you, you're not going to have to do much. They are going to leave voluntarily because there's nothing else that they can get from you. The bond is broken. You're not sharing any type of energy anymore. You're not sharing any type of negative energy. And your soul is now being nourished. It no longer needs junk love. So anyway, guys, that's the video. I would love for you to sound off in the comments below. Please tell me if you've had a soul tie, how you broke it. If you're experiencing a soul tie right now, sound off in the comments below. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share and get my free copy of Phantom's Realm. So until next time, this is Yessie Blue signing off. Peace out.